Greetings, church family. Hope you're doing well today. Hey, I wanted to ask you a question, and it pertains to next Sunday's sermon. So I'm going to do a sermon on physical healing, and we'll get into the beliefs and the biblical scriptures to talk about all the types of healing that happens, and we're going to talk about how much this healing happens today versus how much it happened back then. But I think the biggest question that gnaws at me sometimes with this issue is when I see a healing, sometimes it is hard to know, to be really honest, how much is God's intervention directly, or how much of it is just what God has given man the ability to overcome through medicine, through medical advancements and knowledge, and then also maybe somewhere in between those two things where you talk about God using people but through unique circumstances to make a miracle happen. What some people would say coincidence, Christians often use the word providence or predestination or something like that, where it's miraculous because of all the things that came together to make that miracle happen. Of course, this week we're talking about physical healings. So my question is to you, and if you can respond quickly through an email, or you can tell me quickly when you see me Sunday morning even if you need to, but have you ever witnessed or been part of a physical miracle healing where something happened that you can't explain by natural means, or at least completely explain, and you believe it's God? And then, if I could be so bold as to press you a little bit, and I would ask you, what percentage chance do you personally believe that it was God who directly intervened to make this miracle happen? You know, you read stories like the boy who went to heaven, right? And he was on his deathbed and he experienced it. And he came back to life after experiencing what heaven was like. And these type of occurrences seem pretty rare to us. But as Christians, most of us believe in those. But the hard part is sometimes when someone else tells you a story, they may have certainty that it was God, but there always remains a bit of skepticism inside of us sometimes when it's someone else's story, when we haven't experienced it firsthand. I don't know if all that skepticism is bad. We do need to be a little bit mindful that some people tend to want to, exaggerate. At the same time, there's probably just as many of us out there today who want to dismiss God's healing in our world. And when something miraculous does happen that can't be explained, there are probably just as many people who try to explain it or dismiss God as a God who intervenes and causes healings. And of course, the biggest question is, how come God heals one and not the other? Of course, that's a impossible pondering as well. But let me ask you, what have you experienced? What has been your experience in your life? What have you witnessed? What have you seen? What have you believed and established about God and healing based on what you've seen? I'd really like to know. And your answers would be a wonderful help to me as I prepare and kind of finish the sermon. Since you're probably getting this Thursday or Friday, you'll have to be quick with your answers. Otherwise, just be nice to know when you see me in the hallways on Sunday or whenever, just to, or put a note in my box. I'd love to know what your experience is about God's miracles and healings in people's lives.